So in this video, I want to talk to you about how to do a little bit of research on your salary. And I know many people who don't go do any research before their salary because they're worried about, if they ask for something that the interviewers don't like, they might just, tell them to go away, right? So I want to talk to you about some of the ways that I've done research, that I've guided other people to done salary research, right? So that way you have few tactics, to few tips or a few techniques that you can use to kind of get that process going for you. So that way you kind of don't get lowballed in the interviews or in salary negotiations, and you can go into them with a lot of confidence. So, one of the first things I would say, when you're, doing your salary research is understand that, depending on your location, depending on your years of experience, and depending on the certifications that you hold, it's gonna differ. It's gonna differ how much you should be getting paid, right? So if you're obviously living in North American countries or Western countries, your because of your location, your salary will be much higher because of that reason, right? And also same with if you have a lot of experience and you have participated in a lot of different projects, obviously your salary will increase. And again, same thing with the number of certifications and courses and things like that you have completed. So one of the best places that I recommend for people to go take a look is essentially Glassdoor salaries, right? And there's two places that I actually like to go kind of take a look further is essentially Glassdoor salaries and Indeed salary, right? So there's two websites that I kind of use for establishing what my salary should be, and it gives you kind of prompts on based on, especially on Glassdoor salaries, you can see like what the range is for specific roles that is available there. So if you actually literally type in Google, go on Google Glassdoor salaries, you will be taken to the website directly, and then you can start to kind of test out with different roles. So for example, if you're a project manager, you can essentially type project manager and select the right region, right? Obviously, and then get what the prompts are. So it can, depending on the number of years of experience, the range that you will be making will differ, right? So I kind of like using Glassdoor salaries more than Indeed salary, but Indeed salary is again something that you can take a look at a little bit deeper to see what the content number is showing, right? And that way, even if when you do this research, if they ask how you got this number, you can always let them know, look, I did my research using Glassdoor salaries and Indeed salary, and based on the location, based on the experience I had, and based on the certifications that I hold, this is what I think I should be getting paid, right? So that way, if they were to ever come back, how did you come up with that number, then you can provide that. Sometimes you will realize that in these roles, when you go to different interviews, sometimes they don't even know how much you should be getting paid. They actually don't know. They are doing the research just as you are doing the research on Glassdoor and places like that, right? So it's good idea for you to know where you get the numbers from, so that way you can let them know, look, this is what I should be getting paid. This based on the research, based on the current market rate, is what I'm asking for. So kind of get to know a little bit about those two websites, right? So that way you can kind of know what your salary should be, and play around with different types of titles as well, like project director if you're in project management, project director, or project coordinator or project leader, or whichever, right? So you can get an idea based on the specifically what kind of titles that you've had, right? Because you might, even though you might have done a project management role, maybe you have more of a project leadership, more project director or program manager, right? So obviously you should be getting paid more for that, right? So you want to kind of take a look at, play around with job titles that are related to your field and find the one that matches your skill set and abilities and experience as accurately as you can, right? All you can do is kind of do the research from your part as much as you can and have evidence for that research you have done, right? So these are the two kind of websites that I can let you know, and three consider factors to consider when you're establishing your research, when you're establishing pretty much for your salary. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.